All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring a totally fascinating paradigm shift in the world of alternative healing. We're unpacking the core principles of Tamabechi-style Qigong coaching based on some deeply insightful source material. And honestly, what's incredible about this approach is how it just completely strips away all that heavy mysticism usually associated with healing. Instead, it replaces it with cognitive science and radical relaxation. To really get why this is such a game changer, we kind of have to start with a very relatable, very human struggle. Listen to this quote from the source material because it hits the nail right on the head. We have a student here, a former fortune teller, and she's sharing this raw experience of severe burnout. She was trying so hard to heal her clients, right? But in the process, she was literally absorbing their heavy energy, dealing with her own unresolved issues, and just hitting an absolute brick wall. It's that classic helper's dilemma. You want to lift people up, but you end up getting dragged down by the sheer weight of their burdens. Section 1. The empathy trap from burnout to a new paradigm. So, for this specific practitioner, escaping that trap meant walking away from traditional courses that cost, get this, upwards of $500,000 to over yen. Instead, she found this highly pragmatic 4,000 yen a month methodology that completely flipped the script on what it actually means to be a healer. Back in her fortune-telling days, empathy meant suffering with the client. It was totally exhausting. But in this new framework, the absolute top priority is the healer's own internal state. It's all about radical relaxation. You're not taking on their pain. You are fiercely protecting and maintaining your own joy. Section 2. Demystifying spirits and energy, reframing the mystical. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth do you handle clients who come in demanding exorcisms or who truly believe they're cursed by some sort of spirit? Well, this methodology takes the supernatural and just completely demystifies it. It grounds all these esoteric concepts straight into cognitive science and psychology. So when a client comes in saying they have a spirit attached to them, the coach actually explains that no, this isn't a literal ghost hovering around. It's actually a manifestation of their own negative internal self-talk. It's mental noise, basically. It's this heavy cognitive burden that the client's brain is perceiving as a literal physical weight, usually sitting right there on their shoulders. Section 3. The power of synchronization, the science of empathy. Okay, so to understand how you actually go about clearing all that mental noise without getting into some exhausting mystical battle, we need to talk about a concept called homeostasis synchronization. Basically, this framework tells us that if a practitioner just maintains a perfectly relaxed, happy, and clean internal state, the client's nervous system is going to naturally synchronize to it. Zero mystical effort required. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how sitting next to a super anxious person makes your own heart rate spike, but hanging out with someone who's deeply calm just totally relaxes you? That right there, that's homeostasis synchronization in action. So, rather than actively going to war with negative energy, the healer's main job is honestly just relentless self-care. You let biology do all the heavy lifting. Step 1, just keep yourself in a fantastic mood. That's it. Step 2 is building a trusting relationship through perfectly normal conversation. And step 3 just happens automatically. The client synchronizes to your relaxed baseline. The coach makes a really crucial point here, though. If you try to heal someone from a place of ego, like you just want to be praised as a great healer, it absolutely will not work. You just have to genuinely focus on maintaining your own joy. Section 4. Rewriting the information space, the placebo of ritual. But wait, what about those clients who are absolutely 100% convinced they need an exorcism? The ones who just won't feel better unless you do something tangible? Well, this brings us to this mind-bending concept of the information space. It's the idea that our physical reality is entirely shaped by our internal language and our beliefs. The source material explains that a client's illness or that intense feeling of being cursed is fundamentally just an issue within their information space. They've essentially convinced themselves that they are burdened, and so their physical body just follows suit. So how do you fix a problem in the information space? The source material reveals that rituals are actually just pragmatic tools. They're hacks to build rapport and manipulate the space, giving the client cognitive permission to finally let go of their own tension. The coach's advice? Listen to them. Acknowledge those heavy shoulders. And then perform a simple ritual, something like just tapping their shoulder and confidently declaring that the spirit is gone. Because you've already built that rapport, the client almost has to agree they feel better. You aren't doing magic. You're just guiding them to rewrite their own internal language. Section 5. The ultimate healing technique, becoming the super elite. Okay, so how do you ultimately level up to become a super elite healer who can help masses of people? Spoiler alert, it's not about acquiring some secret magical skills or passing a grueling test. It's actually about boldly declaring that identity right there in the information space, and then acting from a totally relaxed, confident baseline. The coach explains that information is built on words, so if you want to be a super elite healer, you literally just declare in your mind, I am a super elite healer, and you start generating that exact energy. Even if your physical day-to-day reality hasn't quite caught up yet, you ignore the physical world and focus completely on your internal vision. And what's super interesting is how this philosophy stretches way beyond traditional healing. It's actually a huge wake-up call for content creators, professionals, really anyone dealing with burnout caused by trying to be perfect or looking proper. The student in our source material actually admitted she used to overthink absolutely everything, obsessively editing videos, rewriting long texts over and over. But the coach points out that trying that hard actually lowers your energy. It ruins your relaxed state. Leaving a typo in a post or skipping some heavy video edits is actually better if it keeps you in a happy headspace. Why? Because your audience is going to synchronize with that happiness, not your flawless grammar. Now, the source material offers some genuinely unexpected, kind of hilarious advice here. Instead of modeling yourself after a solemn, mysterious guru, you should model your internal state after a constantly smiling comedian. The coach specifically points to Tsutomu Sekine. He's this famous Japanese comedian who is just known for his infectious, nonstop smile and for always praising the people around him. This right here, the coach argues, is the ultimate state for a healer. The message is simple: don't be dark and mysterious, just be delightfully, unapologetically happy. Which leads us perfectly into this powerful psychological concept called priming. By openly sharing your small, happy moments without overthinking them, like a fun story about your cat doing something goofy or just a little stroke of good luck, you actually act as a prime. You are setting a positive baseline for anyone who engages with your content. It's exactly like that buzzing excitement a kid feels the night before a huge field trip. By just putting your own joy out there into the world, your clients, your audience, they're already starting to heal and synchronize with you before they even say hello. So as we wrap up this explainer, the most crucial takeaway is to, honestly, ask yourself this exact question. We so often trick ourselves into thinking that to solve big problems or to truly help other people, we have to take on this heavy, serious burden. But as we've seen through this entire framework, the most profound impact you can have might just come from prioritizing your own joy, refusing to carry all that unnecessary mental noise, and just letting the natural biology of synchronization do its thing. I'll leave you to ponder the immense power of your very own beautifully relaxed internal state.